life. Have her back here again as soon as you can, April.
She's the best.
Our next guest once said that whenever a friend succeeds, a little something inside me dies. This is his latest offering live from Golgotha. Please welcome to the program author Gore Vidal. Gore. Mr. Vidal. How are you?
Well, you've got the ghost of Elvis here. Now you've got the ghost of Colonel Tom Parker. I was just so excited by that, you've got to pay for Elvis. As Colonel Tom always came in and demanded payment immediately in cash.
We'll settle up immediately following the show.
As soon as you win at that racetrack.
Did you, you mentioned Tom Parker, you mentioned Elvis. Did you know either of those men? Do you?
I observed them, yes, indeed. No, I never really knew them personally.
Mm-hmm.
I was at MGM, though, when he was there doing Jailhouse Rock. Every big star in Hollywood suddenly found a reason to drop by MGM.
What year was that?
1955, 56.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he was quite a star.
What were you doing at MGM in 55?
What was I doing there? I was writing a movie for Betty Davis called The Catered Affair.
Uh-huh.
And I'd just done a play on Broadway called Visit to a Small Planet. And I was about to do a magnificent film, which I've always hated and everybody loves, called Ben-Hur.
You were doing the screenplay for Ben-Hur?
Yes, the screenplay. I went to Rome to do it with William Wyler, the director. And the studio was about to go out of business. And they'd already built the amphitheater. They had no script at all. They had built Charlton Heston. There he was. Solid balsa wood, you know. I must say, I saw him yesterday on television. And I thought, you know, Chuck looks pretty racy. He's wearing a yachting cap.
Yeah.
And I realized it was a toupee.
Oh, no.
It looked like it could. It looked like it could eat a child, you know.
Now the Ben-Hur. This, for a man or woman, whoever gets the assignment to turn it into a screenplay, that must have been a daunting assignment. I mean, good heavens, it's nothing if not an epic bit of work.
Well, they had 35 writers on it, as well as the original silent Ben-Hur. The only problem was that the MGM was going down the drain financially, and if this didn't come off, there'd be no more studio. The producer, a very nice man called Sam Zimbalist, just died in the middle of it due to the pressures. And I did everything up to the chariot race. And then a guy called Christopher Fry came in, and he did the last part, which I call Christ Dermatologist. It's where the three ladies who are all lepers, Mrs. Ben-Hur and his wife and his sister, and they come into Jerusalem. They say, this holy man is about to be crucified. Jesus had not been in the story before. So the three ladies that come in, they're very grumpy. They're beautifully dressed for having had leprosy and living in the wilderness.
That would explain the grumpiness, I guess, part of it.
Well, the wilderness makes you grumpy. I don't know about leprosy, but anyway. As Jesus passes, and he's only an effulgent light, poor Christopher Fry said, how on earth am I going to justify this scene? They're not Christians. They don't know who he is. He happens to be passing by. And I said, Christopher, you've been to a dermatologist, haven't you? He said, yes. I said, do what the dermatologist does. He says, what dialogue should Jesus have? I said, it's all nerves, dear, as he passes. And I said, immediately there'll be a miracle. So there was. There was an effulgent light, as we used to call it.
What is that word again?
Effulgent.
Spell that for us.
E-F-F-U-L-G-E-N-T. And I've been waiting to say that all day long.
I'm sorry, but the word we were looking for was
pinhead.
You know, my earliest awareness of you, other than as an author, and I guess this is not fair to really bring up, but you were in fistfights, or close to fistfights, with a lot of other famous literary people. William F. Buckley, I don't know if you guys ever threw punches.
I don't know that he's literary.
Norman Mailer, I think you guys actually, either he hit you, you hit him.
Oh, Norman and I are old friends. In fact, he's directing me in Don Juan in Hell for the Actors Studio. They've got 4 writers for the Actors Studio. They have Susan Sontag and Kurt Vonnegut and Gay Talese and me. I have the best part. I play the devil. I have the best lines.
Good for you.
And Norman is directing us
a lifelong research project for you, then.
Exactly. Come to fruition, as it were. But these stories are mostly made up. The Buckley story was quite real. I mean, our dislike for one another was not feigned. I mean, it was the real thing.
But the first episode I think that I was aware of was in 1968, connected to the coverage of the Democratic
conventions.
Yeah.
And he said, "I'll punch you in the face."
Yeah.
And I roared with laughter because in those days we were so wired up to the control room here, to the West Coast here, I think. All these wires in those days. This was in the Chicago Convention where Humphrey was nominated. If he had so much as laid a finger on me, we would have put out all the lights in Chicago.
And everything would have been
and
unplugged.
we would have been grilled on air, which might have been a better show than the one we gave.
Let's see, the book here, Golgotha.
I'm from Golgotha. I know nobody seems to know how to pronounce it, including me.
I don't feel so bad. We have to pause here for a second. We'll continue in a minute, kids. Come on back. Okay, Gore, if you can hang around, we're going back to Belmont Park. Is Elvis here? I thought we'd bring Elvis in for luck for the last trip to the park. Well, is he? There he is. Come over here, sit down. Gore Vidal, Elvis Presley, Gore.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
All right, have a seat. That's the tiniest cape I've ever seen.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're even money. This is our last chance to make money for the studio audience. Take us back to Belmont Park, Hal. One more race. Put it all on that brass, Dixie brass? Dixie brass. Yeah.
And they're off. Dixie brass out quickly, so is Agincourt on the outside, Binalon.
I think I see some royalty right over there.
To the lead, and Dixie brass opens up quickly on them by 2.5 lengths.
There goes Dixie brass to the lead. Okay, that's what we thought.
They're moving toward the top of the stretch, and Furiously is at the throat of Dixie brass. And those two come to the head of the stretch together. On the outside, Devil is Due is put to the whip as they turn for home. And Furiously comes roaring off the turn and opens up. He pulls away from Dixie brass. Then Devil is Due. We're dead with a late run, but Furiously comes to the 16th pole, pouring it on, opening up by 5. Colony Light will pick up the pieces for second as Furiously wins here by 3, and Dixie brass was third.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We have, since you've been so wonderful for us this evening, we have racetrack hot dogs. Please enjoy those. Gore, it was good to have you with us. My thanks to Patty Smythe and John Lovett. Good night, everyone.
Hi, I'm Ross Perot, here with Nicolas Cage.
Hi.
And Bobby Brown.
Hello.
They're hosting the season premiere of Saturday Night Live. 2 talented men that I could buy out 1,000,000 times over.